There are shortcuts in the world of soil building that most people overlook, not because they're complicated, but because they sound too simple to be taken seriously. This story starts exactly there. I was dealing with a bed that had stalled for months. Nutrient-poor soil, sluggish decomposition, and, well, plants that just refused to push past a certain point. Out of equal parts stubbornness and curiosity, I tried something old-timers used in both homesteads and early agricultural stations, mixing banana peels with shredded paper. Honestly, I didn't expect much. But what happened over the next few weeks changed how I view low-cost, high-impact soil amendments forever. For the next minute, stay with me, because what looks like kitchen trash and scrap office paper can become one of the most potent microbe-boosting combinations you will ever add to your soil. Understanding why banana peels paired with paper create a powerful biological engine is, well, a bit of a revelation. Banana peels break down quickly, offering potassium, calcium, magnesium and trace minerals that plants normally pull from deep, mature soils. They are soft enough for microbes to colonize immediately. Paper, on the other hand, is almost entirely carbon. It breaks down slowly, offering long-lasting food for fungi and bacteria. When you mix the two, you create a perfectly balanced carbon-to-nutrient ratio that kickstarts decomposition without overheating or compacting. Homesteaders and even early agricultural researchers often used fibrous plant material paired with mineral-rich scraps to create a steady nutrient release. What I saw in my own trial echoed this history exactly. The mixture didn't mould, didn't rot into a foul mess, and didn't attract pests. Instead, it warmed slightly, softened the soil, and became a sponge for microbial life. Explaining how the mixture transforms into a slow-release nutrient bank is, I suppose, the heart of the matter. Most gardeners toss banana peels alone into compost, but they break down too fast. They disappear before the soil gets the full benefit. Paper alone, especially printer paper or cardboard, decomposes too slowly and honestly can temporarily lock up nitrogen. When combined, the banana peel becomes the starter culture that fuels bacteria, while the paper becomes the framework that holds moisture and regulates the pace of decomposition. In my bed, the mixture turned into a dark, crumbly, sweet-smelling layer over time. It wasn't slime, it wasn't mush, it was controlled decomposition, exactly what you want for long-term fertility. Survivalists and gardeners working in limited resource settings will appreciate this because it means you can feed your soil without hauling manure, expensive compost, or commercial fertilizers. Preparing the mixture for proper soil integration is, well, a straightforward process, but it certainly benefits from a few intentional steps. I began by drying the banana peels for 24 hours. This prevents clumping and slows early decomposition just enough to avoid pests. Then I tore the peels into strips and mixed them with shredded paper. Ideally non-glossy, non-coloured paper for the cleanest breakdown. The mixture should feel airy, never packed. I added small amounts of moisture until it resembled damp leaf litter. When applied to the soil surface and topped with a thin layer of mulch, it acted almost like an underground compost mat. Within 2 weeks, worms had begun feeding along the edges where the paper touched the soil. At the 1-month mark, the mixture had become nearly unrecognizable, fully integrated into the top few inches of the bed. The most striking transformation wasn't the decomposition itself, but the soil behavior around it. In areas where the banana paper mix was incorporated, the soil became noticeably looser and richer. Water absorbed smoothly rather than pooling. When I lifted a handful, it held together lightly, but fell apart with a gentle squeeze. That's the hallmark of living, balanced soil. Crops planted directly above this mixture showed stronger stem structure and leaf development, especially leafy greens and root crops. The slow mineral release from the banana peel provided consistent nourishment, while the carbon from the paper sustained the microbial workforce that stabilizes soil organic matter. It was a miniature reenactment of the ancient practice of pairing high-mineral plant scraps with fibrous material to keep soil fertile season after season. This mixture works in almost any setting. In raised beds, it can be added in shallow trenches beneath new plantings. In containers, a thin layer mixed into the middle of the pot helps roots access steady nutrition without overwhelming them. In survivalist or off-grid plots with poor soil fertility, it acts as a bridge material, turning barren ground into something roots can actually penetrate. The only caution is moderation. You don't need a heavy layer. A handful of the mixture per planting hole, or a thin ribbon along a row, is enough. The slow decomposition means you aren't feeding the soil for a week. You're feeding it for months. The biggest surprise was that nothing went wrong. No pest invaded, no foul smell developed, and no nitrogen deficiency occurred. The system practically ran itself. The controlled balance created by combining potassium-rich peels with carbon-dense paper delivered steady nutrition without burning plants or starving microbes. It's rare that a method this simple delivers results this consistent. Yet, historically, these pairings weren't unusual. Farmers understood the power of combining fast rot with slow fibre. We've simply forgotten the wisdom. This method has become part of my regular soil-building routine, and if you want a low-cost, high-impact way to train your soil to build humus naturally, this is one of the most reliable tools you can adopt immediately. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to subscribe to Husbandry and share this video with fellow gardeners, homesteaders and history-minded growers. Your support helps us keep digging into the forgotten techniques that still outperform modern shortcuts.